what's crazy though? So you're going off and you're coming from the witchy perspective, however you want to put that, right? I'm studying in the Stoics, and it's amazing the carryover that we have. I've just in the 2 seconds of jotting this down, mastering your emotions, turning inside, surround yourself with the 5 people. That's why this building is here right now. Yeah. That's why this podcast is here. You know, the carryover of all the stuff that you're saying, it's really cool. Yeah. Really, really cool.
Guys, it's all truth. I believe that like when something is real and truthful, we'll have a different spin on it. I'll say it a different way. But ultimately, truth is truth. It exists. It's there. And that is why when we have this conversation, we're all like, ding, 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 because it's pinging something in you. It's pinging something in each of us. And again, truth is truth. One of my prayers, I have a couple. So one of them is, universe, show me how good it gets.
Oh, man, I've been using that.
Start saying that. You're like, show me how good it gets.
She's got me saying this all the time.
Universe, God, show me how good it gets.
Show me.
Show me how good it gets. And the second one was coming back to what we were just talking about with what's on your notes down there? What's the last thing we wrote down? This universal truth, right? Yeah. And so I always say, I'm like, I pray that the truth will reveal itself. It's such a, I've had a lot of, and I don't know about the language on here, so if you have to beep it.
Go ahead.
I've been mind fucked a lot in my life, okay? And what I realize in those, what I realize now, what the definition of a mind fuck is, it's when someone's telling you something, but your body is saying, nope, but everything's making sense. It's all like, all the facts are there, all the information's there. So why would you not, like, it's all here, Kate, it's all here. And I'm like, okay, yes, but it just, something's off. So I betrayed myself and didn't listen to that gut feeling for a long time. And then I would just be like in the abyss of fog and mind fuckery. And like, I just can't even. So I just started, that was my only prayer. And I wasn't even like, hey, God, or whatever. It just be like, I pray that the truth will reveal itself. The truth will reveal itself. And it does. It really does. And not always the way that we think it will, but it will. It really will. And it feels so like I don't have to try to reconcile this. I don't have to, this person, like karma, whatever, like that is not on me. How much time do we spend going back into the thing of like trying to be understood, trying to prove that something was right or wrong? Like, you know, we spend a lot of time in that. And I've had to really work through, my work in the last year has been this thing about feeling like I want to be understood. It's like, well, if they just knew me, if they just understood, then da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, and really just surrendering that and being like, you know what? They may not understand me, and that's okay. Like the truth, I just pray that the truth will reveal itself. So that truth thing, coming back to that, it is a universal thing, and I believe that it will always, everything will sift out, but that like the truth is there.
That's what we're finding. The truth, the saying I've got going on here is the truth's in carryover. Okay, like everybody, one day we're going to get to 100 episodes and we'll go back and find all of it. But choosing your heart, you know, everything's hard. Which way do you want to go? It's a theme that happens over and over and over again.
What about the extreme accountability, like personal accountability? Man. Almost every person that we've talked to is just like, and I'm here because of me, and this is the decision that I need to make. It happens again and again.
And like you're turning to your gut. That's what I call it, the gut.
Yeah.
You're calling it your body.
Sure.
The same thing.
It is. Okay, guys, you ready for this? I want to challenge you a little bit.
Oh, no.
So you said something that I get a lot, and it's choose hard. And I'm going to challenge you on this. One of my pillars is it gets to be easy. Okay?
All right.
Ready for this?
Let's hear this.
You're like, give me the easy. So here's what I believe. It's hard when we choose to suffer. It's hard when we tell ourselves it's hard. It's hard when we aren't prepared for whatever it is that we're doing. So I'll give you an example. I have a mastery program, and we focus on 5 pillars: your physical body, your mental body, your emotional body, your spiritual body, and your social relationships, okay? Because relationships are the currency of life.
Sure.
In this, we do 1 practice in each of those 5 pillars every day. Now, choosing hard would be something like, I'm a fat ass, I got to get to the gym, and I've been slacking. So, okay, Kate, I'm going to commit to do 45 minutes of workout every single day. Okay, cool. Let's get to the next pillar, mental. Okay, I'm going to listen to a podcast every day for 20 minutes. Okay, let's get to the emotional. Okay, I'm going to journal every day for 10 minutes. Okay, what about the spiritual? I'm going to meditate. By the time you add all that up, you've just added an hour and a half to your day. So it's going to work really great for you until you don't have an hour and a half. And then you're going to throw it or toss it away, and it's not going to be a thing anymore. And then you're going to get in guilt and shame because it's like, oh, here I am again. I'm doing the same thing again, like I always start and I never finish, and I'm gaining all the weight back. Whatever the story is, right? It's a pattern. We all do it. In this process that I do, you get 20 minutes a day. 20 minutes. And here's what's cool about it. I'm a maximizer. So my ideal is how can you do multiple things at the same time? So if physical, you're going to work out for 45 minutes. Well, let's say it's 20. And if you want to overachieve that day, great. But minimum, you're going to do 20 minutes. And while you do that, listen to your podcast, right? And then we're like, how can you do multiple things during that time? And the success is better and it's easier. It's easier. It doesn't have to be hard. Another way you can make your life easier is get to know yourself. Get to know your strengths and your weaknesses. Get to know your light and your shadow. Because guess what? I know that as an Enneagram 7, my shadow side is addiction. I am an Enneagram 7 is all about pleasure. Fun, pleasure, good time.
Right now.
We don't want to feel the ick, the pain, the dark. Oh, that's interesting. That's my whole childhood. Fascinating. Okay, well, if I know that's my default and I'm using cannabis, I need to be really clear about my cannabis use. Is there an intention? And what is the intention? Am I just trying to like not feel, or do I want to create?
Connect or disconnect.
Yes. So it all comes down to knowing myself so well that I'm not going to tell you that I can give you the process from here to here in business. I suck at processes, but you know what I'm good at? I'm a synergist and I'm a visionary, and I can operate if you give me a list and I need to, but you know what I suck at is a process. We are taught as kids that you come home with a report card, and what grade did your parents focus on?
The bad ones.
The lowest grade.
Yeah.
And guess what they say? Work harder, do more. What if they said, gosh, Rob, you suck at math, but you know what? You're really good at reading. Let's focus on reading. That's your superpower. I'm a certified Clifton strength coach because I love Don Clifton. He was a psychiatrist in the 50s, and he said, what if instead of studying what's wrong with people, we started studying what's right with people? I love that. I'm like, positivity, let's go. And so they came up, they've done over 1 million assessments. It's called the Clifton Strength Assessment. But he has a very, very short explanation, and he says, listen, it's like there's two kids. They're both, 8 years old, and they both have a basketball in their hand, and they're both dribbling, and they both want to be Michael Jordan. And they're out there, and they're dribbling, they're doing skills, they're doing the
drills, and everything.
all the things, shooting, whatever. Both of these kids can practice just as hard, but if you've got one kid that's just naturally athletic, good hand and eye coordination, comes easy to him, it doesn't, and he ends up being 6'3", and this kid's 5'8", it doesn't matter how hard you work at getting better, it's not your thing. So what if instead of working harder, we could work smarter? What if you knew yourself so well that you knew your blind spots? You're like, look, I'm actually not going to go down that road because it is going to be harder. And if I'm doing whatever it is, I'm going to set myself up for success by surrounding myself with safety nets, with people, with whatever it is I need to do so that this gets to be a little bit easier. This is the feminine. This is what I've learned. The feminine is about flow. The feminine is about intuition. It's about listening to the gut. It's about following that instead of needing to have it all figured out. Because when we've got it all figured out, guess what? We're not open to suggestions. You already know. But what if you're curious
Holy
and you
shit.
can say...
She just mind fucking me.
God damn.
Woo, roles are reversed. Cool. Here we are.
Yeah, I've got to think, because I hear what you're saying, and you want to do the gut check. It makes sense. But my entire mental model, okay, is it's all hard. I'm built different. That's where I take my pride in. But
if you want it,
I don't know.
if you want
if
hard,
that's what you want, if that's what makes you happy, well then it's hard. Then have it be hard. I can see. Can we just spend a second there, because I choose my hard, and let's talk about the gym. Like I've lost 125 pounds. It was hard to be heavy. It was hard to be tired and sweaty all the time, but it's hard to go to the gym too. The fact is that it really isn't hard for me to go to the gym anymore. I'm treating myself. If I don't go to the gym in the morning and treat my body to some movement, even if it's a hard workout, I still feel really good. It's not hard, because I've gained the momentum. So my question is, how do I get the momentum from this hard over to that being easy? Because me first going to the gym, not easy. It was wicked hard, sore, miserable, not seeing the results. So that's what I want to know, Coach.
Great. So you got to get comfortable being uncomfortable.
Oh my gosh, I hate that saying.
I know you do, but here's the thing, Rob. It's like when we identify something as hard, when do we allow it to ever be easy? Yeah. But if you can say, like, you know what, this is uncomfortable. This is so uncomfortable. Like, my body's overweight. I hate the way that my arms are rubbing against my sides, and I'm always pulling my shirt down because my stomach's hanging out when I bend over, and then my butt crack, and I'm embarrassed, and whatever, right? Yeah. If that's the dialogue in your head, you're going to always, always, always find evidence for it being hard. You will always find what you're looking for.
You'll prove it true.
That our subconscious has two functions. The first is to keep us safe. The second is to prove us right. Oh, I'll repeat that. Your subconscious is there to keep you safe, which is what stops you from taking risk, which is what stops you from falling in love, which is what stops you from Yes, because comfort zone. Yeah. Comfort. You break out of the comfort zone, and then you're always going to find evidence to prove you right, because that's what the brain wants to do. In fact, if someone's acting a certain way, they maybe haven't called you back twice, and you're like, I knew it. I knew they don't like me. I knew this was weird. I knew whatever. You're right. Yeah. But what if they've just been busy and you approach it as though that's not the truth, and they're like, hey, gosh, thanks for calling me. I've thought about you 3 times, and I just keep getting distracted. We've had a sick kid, and like blah, 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 blah. It's like, or that's right. So you're going to prove yourself right no matter what. So if you can, now I want to be clear. Don't lie to yourself. Don't say it's easy if it's not. Yeah. Do not tell yourself that, because you're out of alignment. You're lying to yourself. But you can accept that it's going to be uncomfortable and that you don't like it. And in the moment, if you're lifting weights and it is hard because it's heavier than what you normally lift, and you're like, this is hard, great. There are times to use the word hard. I'm not saying take it out of your vocabulary. It's a swear word. But I am saying that if you believe it's hard, it will be hard. But if you can see it differently as like, okay, I'm getting to know, my muscles are getting stronger, or I'm getting to know myself better. So like, yeah, maybe I'm still getting triggered, but my recovery time is shorter and it's less frequently. So it's actually getting easier. Yeah. When you start to tell yourself that it's getting easier, it feels easier. Yeah. It feels lighter. So you start getting more ease. Yeah. So
it's all in how you frame it.
It's how you frame it. Get uncomfortable.
Yeah. And then you're going to feel the way you're telling yourself it is, right? It's like, we've done this before. Try it, right? It's like you can be dreading something that you have to do, and it's horrible and it's a pain, or you can just be like, you know what? One example, opening bills. I used to open bills, and I used to be like, oh my gosh, I hate this so much. Like, just all this stress about money and bills and whatever. And someone once told me to be grateful, to open each one of those and say, I am so grateful that I have electricity. I am so grateful that I have a phone to connect with people I love. I am so grateful that I live in a home with a roof over my head that I can pay a mortgage on. Yeah. It changed. Still opening the bills, you still owe the same amount of money, but you, again, the inside job, your dialogue is different. And that's ultimately what I'm talking about when I say hard versus easy. It's like, what are you telling yourself?
Powerful, man. Kate, we're going to have you on like next week too. Like this is.
I need to digest some of this and come back with more notes.
And pause. I need to think about that whole thing.
Rob, why would somebody want to watch this podcast?
Why wouldn't you? We have a good time. You're going to learn something. And by the way, it's awesome. You should click it. You should watch it. Thanks for tuning in.
Subscribe right now.